Okay, so we're talking about foliage. You can see my mannequin is about a 5N. She does not have any previous lighting that I know of. Talking about tools, you can see I have aluminum clips. I have, of course, my regular crocodiles, several different brushes. This one you can get at Michael's for $1. I love it. Blonde Me lightener. We're going to start with a 7 volume developer, and we're just going to go real low volume so we can take our time. When we're foiling for foliage, we want to do 3 back-to-back highlights right there around the ear and the face. We want that hairline to be bright and pretty, but they have to be super fine. So you're going to see me do 3 of baby lights back to back. That means there's no subsection in between. And I think I tease the entire head. If you tease the entire head, you're going to be able to go back in and put a real pretty shadow root. It's not going to have a hard line of new growth. And it's just a beautiful way to blonde hair. We're really calling this a blonding technique now. It's not highlighting. It's not balayage. It's really a blonding technique where you have a soft blend, a little bit of a darker shadow root, mid-level hair color in the middle, and then usually your ends are very blonde. Okay, so you're going to see me do several baby lights right around the face and keep moving up. I work symmetrically, so I'll do one side and then the other, and then do the other side and then go back and forth. So a few things about the teasing there. You can see the bigger the tease or the deeper the tease, the darker the shadow root. So I do kind of want it to go up a little higher. So I am teasing just a little bit, making sure all those little fine baby hairs are out of the way and that I have a clean surface. It's a very blurred line. I don't have a hard highlighted linear line down the stripe down their head. It's a very soft. With the teasing, you're breaking it up to where you just see baby fine tiny hairs. And it's really important to stay very diagonal back and work within your section, always pulling towards you. So not down at a 0 degree, but more out at that 90-degree angle. This technique is pretty amazing. It really does get a ton of hair lightened, and it's super easy to go back in after you shampoo and, you know, just do a 1 or 2 inch shadow root, color melt it. Maybe the shadow root should probably be around a 5 or a 6, and then the mid anywhere from a 7 to 9. And then what a really cool trick is at the very end, before you run the toner through the ends of the hair, you add a tiny bit of conditioner to the ends. So it really lifts your toner up like to 11, 10, or 10 or 11 blonde on the end. So you still have 3 levels of color melting. So it's really pretty. I'm going to show you in the color melting video more about that. But really, I am just taking a 1 to 1.5 inch subsection, weaving and teasing. And then you just lighten everything all the way through. Of course, if we had previously lightened hair, well, we leave out the ends and just meet our line of demarcation, and we could go back in and touch up those ends at the very end of our highlighting process. I tease it, I'm still going to avoid getting close to that edge so that I have a really nice blurred line and a shadow root. And it just makes it grow out really well. I am also not using a board. You could definitely use a paddle board. I really do like to use this big wide black one from Pravana. It's really good. And see, I use that paintbrush to go back in and again kind of dust off any excess lightener there. And you know, as far as folding hair goes, it really doesn't matter because you're not trying to get it, you know, like a highlight really close to the scalp. So you could do them vertically. I fold them in half sometimes. You'll see me fold them in thirds, or I'll just do lengthwise like this. I can do one on top of the other without folding it at all. Your slices are really so thin that they're not going to slide out or anything. So, and then I am working symmetrically, so you can see I did one side, then I did the other. Now I am going to the right around the hairline. This is always called the money piece. So I'm going to do, again, a lot of baby fine highlights very close to the scalp here. And I'm going to go wide across that forehead, and I just keep taking hair away until I get a nice thin slice. And then I am doing a very tiny weave, which is kind of hard to do on a mannequin the way that they're sewn, but you can still get the general idea. When you're doing this with a person, it'll be extremely thin and fine. And I'm always going to do one really on the hairline. So I would probably not leave that one closest to the forehead. I'm never going to leave that brown. And I do put a lot of thought into how I highlight it, so you'll see me redo it several times, because I do want it to look very soft and natural, not like 3 stripes running down the center of her head. So I keep weaving away until I get my fine, thin slice that I like. And then I'm just going to do several back to back. This is the last foil I'm going to do in that front fringe area. You can see in that section probably it might be an inch at the deepest. I've done about 4 foils, maybe 5. And from there, I'm going to move back to the sides. I am going to isolate my 5th section right behind the fringe. But first I'm going to do several foils on the sides of the head, about 1-inch subsections. So on those sides, I'm going to go back at a diagonal back and do about 3 more foils on each side. When I get to my 5th section, you'll see I actually go with the part from front to back, and I do I think I did about 4 or 5 foils on the top of the head. But by going with the part, or with the center part, I should say, it really does soften that line across the top of the head. But right now I'm doing the 3 to 4 foils on the sides, diagonal backs, isolating that fifth section on top. I'm going to leave that out. So I'll have that rectangular 5th section up there. This is just below that. I'm doing several more foils. be working in alternating patterns all the way up the back of the head. row line. So I don't necessarily, this could almost be a vertical piece. So it's just at the diagonal of the hairline as high as it can go. If that makes sense. And the area is definitely harder. You have to make sure your plant is looking at you have to lean her head a little bit too. She can stretch for a minute and you get comfortable. So you let her or ask her to move where you need her to. Of course, our mannequins are easy, but sometimes you do have to have your client work with you to get a nice foil placement. I am still using 7 volume with the blonde lightener, and I just decided to, just work with the sections a little bit at a time throughout the day, so I didn't have to rush between teaching. So I just used the 7 the entire time, but I was only going for about a level 8. I didn't want to totally bleach out this mannequin since it was brand new, so I'm not trying to get it super, super, super blonde here. I just wanted to show you the technique more than anything. And then we're going to, again, work symmetrically. So we're going to go to do 2 or 3 foils on this side, 2 or 3 foils on the other side, and we're always checking for symmetry with our partings and our sections. So our subsections should always be symmetrical and have the same foil placement on the opposite side of the head. Okay, so you're gonna see now that this section gets really wide, but I did want to do the entire piece, so I just folded over from corner to corner a foil lengthwise, and I'm going to add a vertical foil underneath, but this is a really good way to get a nice wide area that you don't have to get necessarily super close to the hairline. So it's just kind of a cool technique to use. And then from here, you're going to see me go horizontally into a triangular section. All right, here is that triangular section that is horizontal. I go halfway between my diagonal foils and create that first section. And then you can see I'm going to divide this piece into about 2 or 3 foils. And since I am going vertically, I am definitely going to make sure I don't have such a hard not vertically, since I'm going horizontally, I will make sure that I don't have such a hard striped line. So you'll see me zigzag partings instead of just doing a straight line, or I'll do a curved line. There's nothing saying that you can't arch that, and rather than a straight across horizontal, do an arch or a curved line. And you'll see me do that as well as zigzag partings as well. And I do this whole triangular section with about 2 or 3 foils, and then I go back to diagonal backs. And I continue that pattern all the way up the back of the head. Okay, so you can see how I have done in my triangular section horizontally, 2 or 3 foils, being very careful not to do such a hard blunt line at the top, and make sure that I get a nice feathered piece. Then I go to diagonal backs on both sides, do a few more foils, and then back to my horizontal all the way up. And from there, all I do is continue to go horizontally all the way up the top, about a 1-inch subsection, and I am arcing my line. So it's not necessarily when I get closer to the very top of the head, I'm not going to work such a hard horizontal line. I'm going to make sure that I do that arc parting. And I continue that all the way up to the very top of the head, where I leave a tiny bit of hair out that will overlap my last foil. And then that's it. We are going to go over color melting, and I'm going to blow this out, and then we're going to start on color melting after it's all dry and completely lightened. So the next video, you're going to see the outcome, and then I'll show you the color melting and the shadow root process.